Hello all, and welcome back to Chreos Gaming. I am continuing my low magic playthrough of Skyrim. We have just completed talking to Parthenax, who has informed us that an Elder Scroll was used to cast Alduin into the time stream, which resulted in him being tossed into the future, and that to learn Dragonrend, we might be able to use another Elder Scroll to view that event in the past and thus hear the shout. The two people we could potentially talk to are Argnir in High Hrothgar, or what was his name? Esbern. And so in the past, I spoke to Argnir in the No Mundane run, so this time I am going to go speak to Esbern. Now, one of the things I did find interesting is that Argnir is supposed to be representing the Way of the Voice, which Parthenax is supposed to be the master of. But Argnir, I'm probably mispronouncing that, but it's fine for now, was promoting, yeah, see there's bushes underneath there, so the ground's probably lower. I lost a bow here in a previous video, and I'm somewhat annoyed by that. So just hoping I might be able to, that's not what I wanted. I might be able to see it, and I can't, so that's fine. Alright, Argnir is supposed to represent the Way of the, Parthenax is the head of the Way of the Voice. And Argnir seemed to be advocating for a pseudo-fatalism in which, you know, things are meant to happen a particular way and you ought not to try to oppose or disrupt them. Whereas Parthenax himself seemed to be advocating for sort of a so long as you have a choice and you make a choice, that is the significant thing. And so just the disconnect there is kind of curious, because the whole idea of making a choice and doing something is more in line with the Blades.
I used
frankly.
to dream of it.
Well, it could
In
also
the
be...
dream I was standing someplace high up, a tower or a mountain. It was always just before dawn. The whole world was in darkness. Then came the flash of light, just on the horizon, within the clouds that mark the border between worlds. It could have been lightning, but there was no thunder. In the dream, the sense of foreboding grew, but I could never wake up. Then it came again, this time more distinct, closer. Definitely not lightning. Now it was orange, brilliant orange, the color of hearth and dawn, and a sound too, distinct and indistinct. Not thunder, something else, something I should recognize, but in the dream I cannot place it. I want to leave my high place to seek shelter from what I don't yet know. In the manner of dreams I cannot escape. I'm forced to wait and watch. Then, finally, realization and horror arrive together. The orange is flame, heat, the sound, a roar, a challenge in their ancient tongue. But now it's too late for escape. The dragon is upon me, fire and darkness descending like a thunderbolt. And not just any dragon, but the dragon, Aldrin, the World Eater, the dragon who devours both the living and the dead. And then I would wake up and hope that it was just a dream, but know that it was not. Ah, you're back. I hope you've made some progress on tracking down this shout we need to defeat Alduin.
A little bit. And Delphine has upgraded her armor, it appears. Hey, I need to speak with you. Excuse me, Esbern. I'll need an Elder Scroll to get any further.
Ah, indeed. And there's a pretty puzzle. Not the kind of thing you will find in your local bookshop. Let me think.
Perhaps the College of Winterhold.
What learning there is in Skyrim is gathered there. One of the mages there may be able to put you on the trail of this Elder Scroll.
Okay. Do you have any idea where to find the Elder Scroll? I'm gonna guess no, since you just told me, but sure, we'll ask that.
Do you know the College of Winterhold? They have a deep interest in such arcana.
Okay. Any advice for fighting dragons?
You're in luck. There is a blessing the blades used on the eve of battle. It's supposed to prepare the mind for slaying dragons. I doubt the blessing's effects last for very long, so ask whenever you're heading out, and I'll perform the proper rites.
Okay, then. What's so important about me being Dragonborn?
Haven't you been paying attention to anything I've said? Only you can finally defeat Alduin and avert the end of the world. If we can just find out what this dragon-rend shout is, you may have a chance. Or not. There's no guarantee with prophecy. Merely hope.
All right, then.
Very good.
So off to the College of Winterhold with me, then.
So one thought I had is that the one guy, the Greybeard's motivation for being so fatalistic may have been a desire to protect, I don't remember the dragon's name now.
Parthenax?
Yes, Parthenax, because he really, that allegiance being there, and since he did get thrown into the future, it's just kind of
I suppose that could be possible.
My job is to serve.
I don't know that it fits, but it could, sure.
Well, if you've got one dragon, or if you have a dragonborn who can slay dragons, what's to say he won't go after Parthenax?
This is true.
Cross the bridge at your own peril. The way is dangerous, and the gate will not open. You shall not gain entry.
Why are you out? Or what is this place?
Oh, forgive me. Most who arrive here do so because they have heard of the college beforehand. This is the College of Winterhold, a safe haven for mages in Skyrim, a place of wisdom and arcane knowledge.
Okay, so why are you out here?
I am here to assist those seeking the wisdom of the college. And if, in the process, my presence helps to deter those who might seek to do harm, so be it. The more important question is, why are you here?
May I enter the college?
Perhaps. But what is it you expect to find within?
I seek the knowledge of the Elder Scrolls.
Do you? It is true there are some here who have spent years studying the accumulated knowledge of the scrolls. But what you seek does not come easily, and can destroy those without a strong will. It would seem that the college has what you seek. The question now is, what can you offer the college? Not just anyone is allowed inside. Those wishing to enter must show some degree of skill with magic. A small test, if you will.
That's funny.
Just shout the Skyclear one at her.
Yeah. Would you grant entry to the Dragonborn?
Dragonborn? It's been so long since we've had any contact with the Greybeards. Do you really have the voice? I would be most impressed to see that.
Okay, then.
That gave me the shivers.
Oops. That was not
So
the
the
right
stories are true. You are Dragonborn. Normally, you'd need to show some aptitude with one of the schools of magic. But you... I think there is much that we can learn from each other. I think you'll be a superb addition to the college. Welcome, apprentice. I'll lead you across the bridge. Once you're inside, you'll want to speak with Mirabelle Irvine, our master wizard. Please, follow me.
Okay, then. Yeah, that's not happening.
You don't want to join the college?
No, I joined the college last time.
Oh, okay. Well, that would make some sense. Show off. I mean,
She's lighting beacons of some sort as we walk.
apparently.
Yeah, I thought I still had the clearing one, and I didn't realize I had the fire breathing. You gonna keep going? There we go. Yeah, I'll probably end up picking up more side quests just by walking through, but such is the way things work. Yay, College of Winterhold. I think that means I'll be able to fast travel here now. That's it? You're gonna... Okay. Thank you. Appreciate the... I don't understand. That's fine. Alright, so I'm looking for Mirabelle. I think. Let me check. So, I don't care about first lessons. Learn the location of the Elder Scroll. Well, it's still directed here, so I will go see what that is.
I believe I've made myself rather clear.
Yes, of course. I'm simply trying to understand the reasoning behind the decision.
You may be used to the Empire bowing to your every whim, but I'm afraid you'll find the Thalmor received no such treatment here. You are a guest of the college, here at the pleasure of the Archmage. I hope you appreciate the opportunity.
Yes, of course. The Archmage has my thanks.
Very good. Then we're done here.
She would be the one I would talk to if I were interested in training, but I'm not. So, I will continue on. Yes, okay. Alright, now what? I'm going to speak with this person, whoever it is. It's an orc.
I don't want to see you treating any of these books poorly. Are we clear?
Crystal.
You are now in the Arcanium, of which I am in charge. It might as well be my own little plane of oblivion. Disrupt my Arcanium, and I will have you torn apart by angry Atronachs. Now, do you require assistance?
Wow.
I do. However, you do take your work very seriously.
Of course I do. If I didn't, most of these books would have been burned to ashes or dissolved to nothing before the Third Era. Mages need to be reminded to be careful around research materials.
Okay, and this is also quite an impressive library.
A mage is only as good as what he knows. I try to make sure as much knowledge is available as possible. We've been keeping this collection since the Second Era. Books have come and gone during that time, but it's mostly intact.
Alright then. Well, I am looking for an Elder Scroll.
And what do you plan to do with it? Do you even know what you're asking about? Or are you just someone's errand boy?
Okay, well, maybe not. Tell me more about the Elder Scrolls.
I knew it. Everyone comes in here expecting my help, but they don't even have the proper questions. An Elder Scroll is an instrument of immense knowledge and power. To read an Elder Scroll, a person must have the most rigorously trained mind, or else risk madness. Even so, the Divines usually take the reader's sight as a price.
Wow. A price for what?
The simplest way to put it is knowledge, but there's nothing simple about an Elder Scroll. It's a reflection of all possible futures and all possible pasts. Each reader sees different reflections through different lenses and may come away with a different reading. But at the same time, all of it is true, even the falsehoods, especially the falsehoods.
Well, that's not confusing or anything. Alright, who wrote the Elder Scrolls?
It would take a month to explain to you how that very question doesn't even make sense. The scrolls exist here, with us, but also beyond and beneath, before and after. They are bits of divine-made substance, so we could know them. Sorry, talking about the scrolls, you usually end up in irritating and vague metaphors like that. Some people who study them devoutly go mad.
Okay, so do you have one I could use?
Ah, you think that even if I did have one here, I would let you see it? It would be kept under the highest security. The greatest thief in the world wouldn't be able to lay a finger on it.
Okay. What about the Dragonborn?
What about? Wait, were you the one the Greybeards were calling? I'll bring everything we have on them, but it's not much. So don't get your hopes up. It's mostly lies, leavened with rumor and conjecture.
Okay then.
Fight well.
Man, being a Dragonborn gets you all the doors open.
I know. It's quite impressive.
Here you go. Try not to spill anything on them.
Okay. Effects of the Elder Scrolls and ruminations on the Elder Scrolls. Okay. Well, it's not stealing them, so I guess I can take them. He didn't say I had to bring them back, although I expect that will eventually be a thing.
Hundreds of years have gone into assembling this collection. It's going to stay pristine, understand?
Sure. But this Ruminations book is incomprehensible.
As a matter of fact, there are.
No,
Have you ever heard of Shalador? Immensely powerful mage, back in the First Era. Had an understanding of magic few have ever matched. He holed himself up in Labyrinthian and devoted all his time to research and study, but more than you would imagine possible. Since then, his writings have been scattered all over Skyrim, but are little use to anyone who can't translate them. I'm one of the few who can. I've heard whispers of more of his work having turned up. If you can track it down, it may prove useful to all of us.
Okay, hold on. Let me actually see. No, I'm still on Elder's Knowledge. It just might be that discerning the transmundane is part of it? I don't know. Excuse me, Eareg, again. Hello?
I don't care if you wrote it yourself. If you want a book from here, you go through me.
Yeah. About this Ruminations book, it's incomprehensible.
Aye, that's the work of Septimus Cygnus. He's the world's master of the nature of Elder Scrolls, but, well, he's been gone for a long while. Too long.
Okay, where did he go?
Somewhere up north, in the ice fields. He said he found some old Dwemer artifact, but well, that was years ago. Haven't heard from him since.
That
Okay,
sounds
then.
concerning.
Yep. Alright, so just since I picked them up, maybe they're not that long, and since they are directly related this time. Which one was it? Ruminations. So imagine living beneath the waves with a strong-sighted blessing of most excellent fabric. Holding the fabric over your gills, you would begin to breathe drink its warp and weft. Though the plant matter fibers imbue your soul, the wretched plankton would pollute the cloth until it stank to heavens of prophecy. This is one manner in which the scrolls first came to pass. But are we the sea, or the breather, or the fabric? Or are we the breath itself? Can we flow through the scrolls as knowledge flows through being the water? Or are we the stuck morass of sea filth that gathers on the edge? Imagine again, this time but different. A bird cresting the wind is lifted by a gust and downed by a stone, but the stone can come from above if the bird is upside down. Where then did the gust come from, and which direction? Did the gods send either, or has the bird decreed their presence by her own mind-making? The all-sight of the scrolls makes a turning of the mind such that relative positions are absolute in their primacy. I ask you again to imagine for me. This time you are beneath the ground. A tiny acorn planted by some well-meaning elf maiden of the woodlands for her pleasure. You wish to grow, but fear what you may become, so you push off the water, the dirt, the sun, to stay in your hole. But it is in the very pushing that you become a tree in spite of yourself. How did that happen? The acorn is a kind of tree egg in this instance, and the knowledge is water and sun. We are the chicken inside the egg, but also the dirt. The knowledge from the scrolls is what we push against to become full-sighted ourselves. One final imagining before your mind closes from the shock of ever knowing. You are now a flame burning bright blue within a vast emptiness. In time you see your brothers and sisters, burnings of their own in the distance and along your side. A sea of pinpoints, a constellation of memories. Each burns bright, then flickers. Then two more take its place, but not forever, lest the void fills with rancid light that sucks the thought. Each of our minds is actually the emptiness, and the learnings of the scrolls are the pinpoints. Without their stabbing light, my consciousness would be as a vast nothingness. Unknowing, its emptiness as a void is unknowing of itself. But the burnings are dangerous, and must be carefully tended and minded and brought to themselves and spread to their siblings. Well, it's not as gibberish as I thought it was when I said it. What are the... No, I just did that. Alright, so let's go look at effects of the Elder Scrolls. If I can read. So, it is widely known among scholars that the Elder Scrolls entail a certain hazard in their very reading. The mechanism of the effects has, at present, been largely unknown. Theories of hidden knowledge and a divine retribution were the subject of idle speculation with little investigation. I, Justinius Dalunius, have undertaken to thoroughly document the ailments afflicted by the Elder Scrolls on their readers, though a unified theory of how they manifest continues to elude me, and remains a subject for future study. I have grouped the effects into 4, finding that the avenue of experience depends largely upon the mind of the reader. If this is unclear, I hope that a proper dichotomy will lay it plain. Group the first. The Naifs. For one who has received no training in the history or nature of the Elder Scrolls, the scroll itself is, effectively, inert. No prophecy can be scryed, nor knowledge obtained. While the scroll will not impart learning to the uninformed, nor will it afflict them in any adverse fashion. Visually, the scroll will appear to be awash in odd lettering and symbols. Those who know their astronomy often claim to recognize constellations in the patterns and connections, but such conjecture is impossible to further investigate since the very nature of this study necessitates unlearned subjects. Group the second, the Unguarded Intellects. It is this second group that realizes the greatest danger from attempting to read the scrolls. These are subjects who have an understanding of the nature of the Elder Scrolls, and possess sufficient knowledge to actually read what is inscribed there. They have not, however, developed adequate discipline to stave off the mind-shattering effect of having a glimpse of infinity. These unfortunate souls are struck immediately, irrevocably, and completely blind. Such is the price for overreaching one's faculties. It bears mentioning, though, that with the blindness also comes a fragment of that hidden knowledge. Whether the future, the past, or the deep natures of being is dependent on the individual and their place in the greater spheres, but the knowledge does come. Group the third, mediated understanding. Alone in Tamriel, it would appear that only the cult of the Ancestor Moth has discovered the discipline to properly guard one's mind when reading the scrolls. Their novitiates must undergo the most rigorous mental cultivation, and they often spend a decade or more at the monastery before being allowed to read their first Elder Scroll. The monks say this is for the initiate's own protection, as they must have witnessed many unguarded intellects among their more eager ranks. With appropriate fortitude, these readers also receive blindness, though at a far lesser magnitude than the unguarded. Their vision fogs slightly, but they retain shape, color, and enough acuity to continue to read mundane texts. The knowledge they gain from the scroll is also tempered somewhat. It requires stages of meditation and reflection to fully appreciate and express what one saw. Group the fourth, illuminated understanding. Between the previous group and this one exists a continuum that has, at present, only been traversed by the monks of the Ancestor Moth. With continued readings, the monks become gradually more and more blind, but receive greater and more detailed knowledge. As they spend their working hours pondering the revelations, they also receive a further degree of mental fortitude. There is, for every monk, a day of penultimate reading, when the only knowledge the Elder Scroll imparts is that the monk's next reading shall be his last. For each monk, the penultimate reading comes at a different and unknowable time. Preliminary work has been done to predict the occurrence by charting the severity of an individual monk's blindness, but all who reach these later stages report that the increasing blindness seems to taper with increased readings. Some pose the notion that some other unseen sense is, in fact, continuing to diminish at this upper range, but I shall leave such postulations to philosophers. To prepare for his ultimate reading, a monk typically withdraws to seclusion in order to reflect upon a lifetime of revelations and appoint his mind for reception of his last. Upon this final reading, he is forever blinded, as sure as those unguarded ones who raised to knowledge. The illuminated one, though, has retained his understanding over a lifetime, and typically possesses a more integral notion of what has been revealed to him. It is hoped that this catalogue will prove useful to those who wish to further our mortal understanding of the Elder Scrolls. The Moth Priests remain aloof about these matters, taking the gradual debilitation that comes with reading as a point of pride. May this serve as a useful starting point for those hoping to take up such study. Dictated to Anstius Mecham, fourth of last seed in the 126th year of the Second Era. All right, then. That is somewhat interesting and intriguing. And I do expect that the next quest is actually going to be somewhat extensive. So I am going to call this a slightly shorter video with the reading of the book, and then continue on to go find the individual that was mentioned in the next video. Thanks all. Hello all, and thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please click the like button below. You can also subscribe using the channel image in the center of the video. If you are interested in more content in this video series, to the left is a link to the full playlist. Alternatively, when it is available, to the right will be a link to the next video in the series. Thanks all.